Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for an informative and exciting Oceania Cruises webinar. My name is Justin Whitmer, and I am the Professional Development Specialist here at CLIA. And I'm just going to quickly run through some housekeeping before introducing our presenter. The webinar will run for about 40 to 45 minutes with some time for questions at the end. So please feel free to type your questions into the questions module of this webinar, and we'll get to them at the conclusion. This webinar is being recorded and will be posted on CLIA's YouTube channel, CLIA Global, if you miss anything. So with that, it is my pleasure to introduce our presenter today. He is the Senior Director of Business Development for Oceania Cruises, and it is Michael Von Wittenau. Michael has been in the cruise industry for too many years to mention. He started working on board as a cruise director and hotel director, as well as serving in the executive positions in strategic business development at Crystal and Signature Travel Network. And currently, Michael leads the BDM team at Oceania Cruises and manages the line's Affinity Group program. So with that, Michael, I'll let you take it away.
Great. Thank you, Justin. And thank you, everybody. I guess it's good morning and good afternoon, depending where you're located. And first, thank you so much for taking your valuable time to dial in or take a look at this recorded session. My goal today is to make this as useful as possible for you because you're investing in time with us, and answer some questions that are most commonly asked questions about Oceania Cruises, leader in ultra premium cruising. So what our little journey together today will be is our brand promise, our new value proposition, which is pretty much hot off the press. It's about 30 days old now. We'll go into that and what that means for those of you that are familiar with our brand, how that changes the value proposition. And of course, those new to the brand, it'll be fresh new information for you. As well as our brand pillars, the pillars that are our core DNA that makes up Oceania Cruises. And I'll go into that in more depth to show you how Oceania is different from other brands, because there's some great choices out there, more and more choices every year, and we know how confusing it could be to keep all that straight. So my goal is to make that as clear as possible for you. And then the big question, where can I find Oceania clients? And then we'll wrap up with some really exciting special offers that we are just launching in, let's see, today, 2 days. So this coming Friday. So we'll share that with you, give you sort of an insider's look at that. So again, starting with our new value proposition. So with Oceania Cruises, again, we sit in the ultra premium space, meaning as the industry, as I'm sure you've heard many, many times, we kind of break it up into three categories. There's premium with some of the larger vessels and so forth. Then there's ultra premium, which we actually created as a brand, which is in between premium and luxury. And then we have luxury, which are the all-inclusive, all-suite brands. So with Oceania Cruises, with our new value proposition, we've designed it or redesigned it to really cater to the needs that we've heard modern cruisers are looking for. So this is a list of items that are always included in our brand. Our abundant specialty restaurants are all open seating. There's never an additional charge. In-suite dining and in-stateroom dining, extensive complimentary, no delivery fees, so truly complimentary. Excited, the next 4 weeks will be completed with Starlink installation on all of our vessels, giving your clients faster Wi-Fi, which is more and more important to people because many people are working remotely, gives you more opportunities for bookings. All non-alcoholic beverages are included, whether it's specialty coffees to non-alcoholic beverages and cocktails, all included, including our Vero water system, where there's watering stations throughout the vessels, complimentary bottle provided to your guest to even take home with them for nice sparkling or flat water. Juices, smoothies, gourmet ice cream, which I'll talk about, group fitness classes. So if you want to really keep yourself in shape with some Pilates or boot camp, that is all complimentary in our ships. Laundry, self-service laundry facilities on virtually most decks as complimentary, as well as detergents and so forth. We also have paid services available for pressing, dry cleaning, and so forth. But laundry is also included for concierge level and above. And the most exciting thing that we just rolled out just over 30 days ago is shipboard gratuities. That was the number one thing that people would ask for, and that's why we redesigned our value proposition. So now every one of our cruises includes prepaid gratuities, which has been very, very well received. In addition to that, then we have sort of a la carte experiences that your guests can add on to it. As you may or may not know, we used to include air bundled into our fares since we started, basically. And we just recently removed that this last year because we're finding that most guests didn't want to utilize our air program, wanted to use miles and so forth, so they're asking for air credits. So we unbundled the air out of the fares, but they can add that and do the air through us if they wish as an a la carte item. Shore excursions, we have a large selection of shore excursions, over 8,000 worldwide, and those are all available at additional cost, from private car and driver all the way up to motor coach tours and unique experiences. And then what we have also as a la carte is wine and spirits. So again, we include all non-alcoholic beverages, but there is a charge for wine and spirits. We were including wine and beer at lunch and dinner up until last month. We only did it for a year. And to be honest, because of the feedback we received, we pulled it out because, as we all know, nothing's free in life. It's all bundled into the fare. So we've decided to let guests that want to enjoy alcohol, they can add it on to their cruise vacation experience. So we have a package called the Prestige Package that your clients can book in advance, and that's new as well. It's $59 per person per day, and it's full open bar, unlimited top shelf alcohol. But a little insider tip here, because this is all about insider tips, is unless your clients are planning to really enjoy a lot of cocktails and wine throughout their cruise, our cocktail prices, wine prices are really reasonable. And another insider tip to that is every day we have what we call happy hour, which is much longer than an hour, before dinner as well as after dinner in the lounges up to, I believe, around midnight. And it's 2-for-1 cocktail. So to give you an example, I love a good martini. Our martinis start at about $10 on our ships. But during happy hour, it's 2 martinis for $10. That's $5 a martini. So you can see it's very, very reasonable. So many of our guests said, we would just like to just pay on consumption because maybe you have one drink before and a glass of wine at dinner and so forth. So that is an opportunity that guests can add, and that's relatively new. We didn't used to be able to offer that package in advance. But if you have guests that are looking for a more all-inclusive experience, that can be prearranged for them. Now, going back to our positioning that I just mentioned, being the upper premium space, I want to spend a little bit of time on this because this is where there's been some questions. We're very, very commonly compared to luxury brands. And it's hard because we don't put ourselves in that category. So when people are comparing us to like our sister brand, Regent Seven Seas, for example, they're our luxury brand. They're all suites, they're all inclusive, shore excursions and everything, and they have a much higher ticket price. But with us being ultra premium, we are more inclusive than the premium big ship brands, but we're less inclusive than the luxury brands, and our pricing represents that. One of the great things of our brand are our vessels, and we have 2 distinct sizes, I'll say, which I'm going to break down for you in a few moments. But overall, our staterooms tend to be larger than the premium brands, and obviously smaller than the all-suite luxury brands. So we sit right in the middle. So ultra premium, we designed this category as, think of it as like a stepping stone. They usually start off in premium with the big ships, then they're looking for a more smaller ship, more boutique experience. They move to Oceania cruises, and maybe later on they decided they want suites and all-inclusive, then they move up into the luxury brand. So that is our positioning. So when selling our product, you really don't want to put us up against like the Crystal or Regent, because price-wise and inclusions is quite a bit different. Where your opportunity is absolutely with the premium brands. In fact, about 48-49% of our bookings coming in right now are guests that have never sailed on board an Oceania ship before. And those guests are not new to cruising by any means. They're usually quite well traveled in the cruise arena, but now they're looking for, as I mentioned, that more boutique experience, higher service levels, and so forth. So that's our positioning. So let's go into our brand pillars. Again, what makes up Oceania. And I'm going to do my best to call out how we do things differently than other cruise lines to better help you find the best product for your clients when you're asking those probing questions and finding the best fit for them. Of course, I'm a little bit biased because I think Oceania is the best fit, but I will be very subject about that. So we'll talk about the finest cuisine at sea. Really wonderful cuisine. Our awards really showcase that. I'm sure you've all heard about how fantastic the food is on board all the Oceania ships. And the assortment and selection and choices of different types of cuisine, again, always included. And then we'll talk about the award-winning itineraries. Let's face it, the number one reason people choose the cruise is for the destination, not necessarily for the ship, but where they want to go and then who they want to sail on. And we have over 600 destinations around the world. We're all ocean, no river, so it's all ocean going. And we pretty much, I like to say, go everywhere that anybody pretty much would like to go on ocean cruising. And then we'll wrap up with small ship luxury, our third pillar, which is our fleet, which is the beautiful hardware and ships that will transport your guests to these wonderful destinations that they've dreamt about going to or want to revisit and rediscover. So finest cuisine at sea, I think for some of you it's lunch hour. It's about breakfast time for me, so I'm a little hungry, so I'll do my best not to make us too hungry here. But this is definitely a big passion of mine. I'm a big foodie, and this cruise line certainly is the cruise line for foodies. As we all read about in all publications and television and so forth, the culinary scene worldwide is ever changing with new trends and new wants of clients and so forth. So we make it a very, very strong pillar point, if you will, to stay ahead of the curve in the culinary area. Here we try to stay with what's current, and every year our executive culinary team come together, evaluate everything, reinvent some of our menus, introduce new recipes, test the recipes and so forth. So a lot of work is put into this. There's really a reason why we're constantly rated the finest cuisine at sea. And it's not just the taste of the food, it's how you get there. The fresh ingredients, the best staff in that area, and really, as I mentioned, staying ahead of the curve for the trends of what the public is looking for. So I want to take you through some of the different restaurants that we have. Ember is our latest restaurant that we added on board the Vista, I guess a year ago last May now. And this is a sort of a new concept for us, whereas it's a little bit more casual than we've had in the past, like from Jocks and so forth. And think of like one of those wonderful restaurants in Napa, those bistros, the ones that everyone's talking about, wonderful steaks and Tuscan kale salads and rotisserie chickens with Tuscan spices. Very, very flavorful, but also designed a little bit more casual atmosphere and a faster dining experience. Rather than spending maybe a couple hours and going through a whole culinary journey in one of our restaurants, this is designed to be a little shorter for people that want a shorter dining experience. This is one of my favorites. I pulled out some pictures here. This is a crab cake with a wonderful corn relish on top. And then this is amazing. This is a triple chocolate brownie that is absolutely to die for with some fresh made ice cream on top. Don't even ask about the calories, but it's worth every bite. Speaking of calories, another new restaurant concept we launched is Aquamar Kitchen. And this is our healthy alternative. And what I love about this restaurant, and by the way, it has been such a home run with our guests. It's amazing. We just added it on board Marina, a couple of months ago. But it's been such a home run because we have so many longer voyages. Our cruises go from 7 to 180 days, but most of them are 12 days or longer. And many guests, I'm not sure if you're finding this as well, are booking back-to-back cruises. And our itineraries are pretty much different every time. So it's easy to do a back-to-back or triple back and have different ports. But my point is, when you're on board for even 20 days, it's kind of hard to eat gourmet rich foods every night because we don't do that at home. So Aquamar is a nice break from that. And this is very, very healthy choices. Grilled salmon. It's open for breakfast and lunch. And a little secret, I heard it may be open for dinner too. I'm not sure yet. But this restaurant offers fresh pressed juices every morning, smoothies, organic power bowls that you create your own selections of proteins and so forth. And it's an indoor-outdoor atmosphere, but it's just delicious. This to our left is one of our many avocado toasts that we offer with some delicious grilled shrimp on top. And to the right is one of those power bowls I'd mentioned where you build your own power bowl. But you can just tell by the look of this how fresh it is and light it is. And again, has been a real home run. So this is Toscana. This is our Italian restaurant. Absolutely amazing. A lot of the recipes, or I should say several of the recipes on the menus are recipes from our culinary team's families, like the grandma's pasta and so forth. Very, very fresh, very, very delicious. We even have on board the Vista and soon to be Allura, a private dining room that is great for like friends and families traveling together or a special birthday celebration. So that's new on board Vista and Allura. And then one of my favorites is the olive tasting tableside. You can see it sort of in the back there. We have all these different types of olive oils and balsamics for your guests to choose their flavor, their favorite flavor, I should say. Beautiful dishes like usobuco, fresh made pastas. Giada De Laurentiis is one of our culinary ambassadors now, and she's actually the godmother on board the Vista as well. And she lent some of her favorite Italian recipes that are featured in this recipe into this restaurant. And it's all served in beautiful custom designed Versace china. Then we have Polo Grill, which is our version of a traditional steakhouse, if you will. Probably the best bone-in ribeye steak I've had in my entire life was in this restaurant, but a very, very traditional lobster thermidor, grilled lobster, beautiful steaks. Many of the steaks are properly aged. To the left side is a private dining room, also like Toscana on Vista and Allura. Again, you can book that in advance. And what a great gift or surprise gift for maybe a group of friends that you book traveling together to surprise them with this private dining experience in one of these restaurants. One of those types of experiences that they're going to remember that you gifted them and use as one of their special memories. The Polo Grill, wonderful steakhouse. Here's some pictures to make your stomachs growl a little bit more. A wonderful seared filet over polenta with a truffle sauce. And again, the desserts. I mean, it's just amazing. I think sort of feast for the eye as well. And there's that bone-in ribeye that I had mentioned that I still dream about, fillets and so forth. Probably if you were to say, hey, Michael, what is the favorite restaurant that guests seem to have? It's kind of saying who's your favorite child, right? But I have to say most people say Red Ginger. And Red Ginger is pretty special. It is our take on Pan-Asian dishes, if you will. Thai, Korean, Malaysian, wonderful savory and sweet dishes, sashimi, sushi, just a fantastic array of lighter Asian fare. And we even have a special cocktail menu in here with cocktails designed to complement some of these dishes. One of the favorites is a warm duck watermelon salad, which I thought sounded odd. I'm not a duck fan, but I tell you, it's one of my favorite things on that menu. But a very, very popular and exquisite restaurant on board our chefs. This is a picture also that's one of the favorite recipes as reported by guests. And this is a lobster pad thai, absolutely melts in your mouth. So Jacques Pepin has been with the family at Oceania since its inception, and he's been the mastermind behind so many of our culinary developments and things that we've rolled out. His first restaurant at sea was on board the Marina, and we also have it on board the Riviera as well. And this restaurant is pretty special. In here you'll find works of art from his personal art collection, and the menu is comprised of some of his favorite dishes from decades of exquisite culinary perfections that he has done. And this restaurant is obviously French and just absolutely special and delicious. Probably my favorite, actually, now I think about it. But specialty restaurants aside, again, remember, those are always complimentary. Guests can go as many times as they wish. Before they leave on their cruise, they may book one reservation in each restaurant before they embark. But once they embark on the ship, they can go back as many times as they wish based on availability. And a little insider tip there is I always say go down before going ashore in the port of call, down in the main lobby area on level 5 is the office or the desk of the restaurant manager. And go and see he or she and see what's available that night for dinner. And that's a great way to get into some of those favorite specialty restaurants. But again, those aside, our grand dining room or our main dining room, honestly, everybody, is equivalent to the quality of specialty restaurants on other brands. Absolutely exceptional offering of continental dishes, if you will. The menu changes almost every day with some favorite items that we carry over all the time because of guests' special requests that they always want to have. On the left side here, this is a wonderful miso cod recipe that we have, again, on the Versace China. Some wonderful pastas, steaks. We do a beautiful champagne brunch in here as well on select days, but this is open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. No reservations needed. It is open seating. Guests may dine with whom and when they wish. And the other thing I wanted to share with you also is on Oceania, we don't have structured dress codes, if you will. It's all country club casual every night. Jackets are never required for the gentlemen. Honestly, I see they tend to wear them at night from what I've seen on cruises I've been on, but they're not required. There's no formal nights, but a very, very casual, comfortable elegance. Now, what I call the best kept secret on the ship as far as dining is the Terrace Cafe. It is also open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. No reservation required here, of course. And this is pretty special. In this area, breakfast, there's the omelet stations, an array of amazing pastries. At lunchtime, the menu is based on kind of where you're sailing. For example, I was on board Vista 2 months ago. We were anchored off of Santorini, and it was an absolutely spectacular Greek collection of delicacies throughout the luncheon experience. And here you can dine either inside, as pictured bottom left, or al fresco on the right. And I dined outside, and it was just amazing sitting there overlooking Santorini. I mean, just best table in the world, right? But that's lunch and breakfast and lunch. And then at dinner, again, the menu changes as well. And it is pretty spectacular, especially with those overnights. And let's say you have some clients, let's say we're in Santorini, for example. It's not Sorrento. And we do an overnight there, and they're at Pompeii, which is a grueling tour, right? And if it's August, it's pretty warm. And you come back and you just don't want to really dress for dinner. You want to stay casual. Hey, head up to that Terrace Cafe, dine al fresco. If it's an overnight, seeing the lights, like this is in Monte Carlo, just spectacular. And again, the menu changes all the time. We always have grilled lobster, grilled chops, and an array of different choices, something for everybody. And it's a combination of table service as well as, I hate to use the word buffet, but kind of like a buffet environment where you choose what you like and it's served to you. But again, a wonderful area. They have sushi every day too as well, one of my favorites. And the other dining option we have is Waves Grill. This is off of the pool area. Insider tip, this is new. I just experienced this too. We have, first of all, great hamburgers, but now we have a surf and turf burger, which is a Wagyu burger with a lobster tail on top, and it's unbelievable. And we have those items every day. Again, off of the pool, there's also a pizzeria. Some of the ships will do pizza nights and pizzerias up there with very authentic Italian pizzas like you would have in Capri, for example. Amazing ice cream. Any of you from the San Francisco Bay Area probably have heard of Humphrey Slocum. It's a boutique little ice creamery in San Francisco, all handmade, amazing flavors. We have an exclusive partner with them. And in addition to our homemade gelatos, we also have Humphrey Slocum ice cream. And if you're on board, you got to give it a try. If you need a little pick me up in the morning or the afternoon, we have baristas. That is our coffee location. With wonderful coffees, as well as frozen coffees. It's like Starbucks times 10. Beautiful coffees. And This has been so popular on Vista, for example, that we're doubling the size on Allura, which is our newest ship and sister ship to Vista that comes out this summer. So we're doubling that space. But a wonderful place to get complimentary coffees. We have small bites in there as well, aperitifs, and on board Vista, we even have, I think I have a photo of it here. I do. We have a bakery off of the barista's area. So when you come in here, you smell these wonderful fresh baked pastries that are made right there in an open kitchen environment. And again, we rolled out in Vista, home run. So now we're expanding on Allura and so forth. But again, encourage your guests to go up there and check this out. As you can see from the photo, lots of windows, outdoor deck dining, just a great place to hang out, to be completely honest. Now, I had mentioned that all of our restaurants are complimentary. There's one exception. We have an area called Privé on our O-class and A-class vessels. This is a photo of Privé on board the Vista. Privé is a small private dining room that you can either charter out for the entire thing for a private dinner for friends and family, or participate in something that we call a law reserve dinner. So this is a wine pairing dinner that's all about the wines or champagnes being featured. So there is additional cost to this. We have several different ones to choose from, experiences, if you will. The top being a Dom Perignon tasting dinner that is over the top, where I believe it's 7 different vintages of Dom Perignon served with the different courses. If you have any clients that are real connoisseurs of champagnes, this is a must-do. It's one of those experiences they'll keep with them the rest of their lives. It's truly spectacular. And no matter whether you cook or don't cook, we have the industry's first hands-on culinary center on our ships. We've since rolled it out over on Regent as well, but this is, every ship pretty much has cooking demonstrations, but on Oceania, we have a hands-on culinary center where your clients or yourselves roll up your sleeves and get cooking with our chef in that venue. This is such fun. Lots of different class subjects, many based on the regions. Some of them are paired with a shoreside experience, a culinary adventure, where you will go to a local market, for example, and go with the chef to a local market. You'll have a list of ingredients and you go through those local markets, you find those ingredients. You also have free time when you're at these farmers markets with the chef. And on board Vista and Allura, we've taken it a step further and we've added a culinary center dining room next to that. And you'll actually dine in the dining room, enjoying the fruits of your labor from that experience. Again, one of those things, it's all about lifetime memory. That experience is limited to usually about 24. We will maintain a wait list. When they get on board, we also do find we're able to clear wait lists, because many people may have booked it 8 months ago and then they decided there's something else they wanted to do. So if they're on a wait list, there is good hope of clearing, but you do want to encourage them to book the culinary center on the website under the profile up to a year in advance. Now, if you're like me and you love a good room service, to me, that's all about vacation. We have some of the best room service I've ever experienced at sea. Extensive menu, as I mentioned earlier, everything from like the avocado toast that I mentioned, Aquamar. We have poke bowls. We have Beyond Burger. Very, very extensive menu, 24 hours a day. Very extensive, but in addition to concierge level or penthouse and suites, they can book out of some of the other restaurants as well. So for example, concierge level, they can order off of the grand dining room menu for lunch and dinner. Once you get into penthouse category, you can also order from any of the specialty restaurants and be served, of course, in the privacy of your stateroom or suite. So really a pretty special experience if they want to dine in one day or night. This is an image of Horizons Lounge. This is a floor to ceiling windows. But what I wanted to call out here is traditional high tea that we do every day at 4 o'clock. Again, one of the best high teas I've ever experienced. I've experienced a lot of them. Oceania really does it right with the clotted cream, all the different pastries and finger sandwiches and scones. And they come around with these beautiful carts of selections as you or your guests dine at the tables as pictured here. And we have music playing and really very, very special. Here's some more images of the tea service as well. Again, complimentary every day, 4 o'clock, Horizons Lounge. For pre-dinner cocktails and entertainment, this is Martini's Lounge, a guest favorite for pre-dinner cocktails. And remember what I mentioned earlier, the insider tip, happy hour, which is more than just an hour, where it's 2-for-1 cocktails in this and all the lounges before dinner hour and after dinner. But this is a great place for lively piano music, very popular with our guests, lots of different types of martinis, as you can imagine, because of the namesake, for both pre-dinner and post-dinner. Now, I'm sure you've heard a lot and read about craft cocktail craze that's going around right now. And we rolled out a new bar concept called the Founders Bar on board the Vista, where it's all about the cocktails. Fresh made ingredients. I mean, it's almost like going to the farmer's market when you go in there because of all the different herbs and stuff that they have for these different cocktails. And standing room only. It's a small little kind of speakeasy bar. Again, on the Vista, it'll be on Allura. We just rolled it out in what used to be like the casino bar on board Marina. And I'm sure it's going to continue on to Riviera and some of the other ships as well, because it's been, again, another one of those home runs. But the cocktails are works of art themselves, with the aroma bubble, smoke bubble on the cocktails. Beautiful glassware, I have to say as well. The bottom right is a smoke box where the bourbon in this particular case is smoked in the box. The door opens and you take it out of it. Cocktails are made either tableside or at the bar. And it's not just for those that drink alcohol. I mean, sometimes I like to take a break. And we have some really wonderful alcohol-free cocktails. Now they still have like a vodka, but the alcohol has been removed. Like for example, there's one that's called the Negroni, and it's served out of a barrel pre-made and aged in this barrel, and there's no alcohol in it. And I tell you, it's absolutely delicious, and there's no sacrificing of flavors without the alcohol, but you are sacrificing that hangover the next day. So I tell you, I highly recommend that. So let's talk a little bit about itineraries real quickly. As I mentioned before, this is one of our core pillars that is the number one reason that our first-time guests say they came to Oceania Cruises, because our itineraries are pretty great. They're port intensive, lots of overnights. And I know you hear that a lot from different brands. I know we say a lot of the same things, but I'm gonna give you some examples to really exemplify and showcase how we really do spend more time in port. So as mentioned, we go pretty much all over the world. I'm not going to go through every itinerary because you'd probably kill me. We'd be on the phone for about 6 hours, but I'm going to pull together just some quick highlights here for you. So like Scandinavia, Northern Europe, Tallinn, obviously, I'm sure many of you recognize that. This is an example of us compared to the number one premium brand that people tend to move over to us from. Both 10-day cruises. We go to 10 ports, they go to 7. Late evening departures, that means like after 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and so forth. 3 as opposed to 1. Sea days, 1 compared to 3. That's one thing you'll find in Oceania are less sea days. Some people say, but I like sea days. I always say you can always create a sea day, but you can't create a port day. I love sea days as well. So if we go to a port that I've been to, I may choose to stay on board the ship and enjoy the ship all to myself, enjoy discounted rates in the spa and so forth. So you can create that sea day. But look at the bottom column here, number of hours in port. Because again, the number one reason people choose us for the first time is our itineraries. They want to go to this itinerary. They want to spend time and immerse themselves. We spend 84 hours in port compared to 61 hours in port from that leading premium brand. So again, I just want to give you some examples because it's easier for us to say we spend more time in port, but we really do. And while we're in port, we have all these spectacular shore excursions, everything from the traditional motor coach tours, seeing the iconic sites, to tours that are designed for people that may have been there before, but want to rediscover it as a local would. And we call those go local tours. So for example, this is one in Edinburgh that is Scott whiskey sampling. And when we say go local, these are tours that we have designed that no other cruise line offers. And they're usually with local individuals and local companies that don't usually do tours. So it's very, very authentic. Part of this tour, in addition to the sampling, which could probably be kind of fun to do this afterwards, is the hands-on bagpipes session. I'm sure everyone gets a lot more creative after sampling some of those whiskeys. But that's, again, one of those tours you can't get anywhere else. Mediterranean, as we all know, super popular with everybody, especially these days. Again, another example, 12-day to 12-day, 107 hours in port compared to 75 hours in port. 5 late night departures compared to 2. And you may say, Michael, what's the big deal about late night departures? Well, what I love about late night departures is the ability to maybe hang out in a cafe in the early evening and watch the locals go by, maybe have an ice cream on shore, but really get a sense of what that port is like day and late afternoon, early evening. And guests love it. It's not uncommon for guests to have an early dinner on board and go back ashore and again, live like a local, if you will. Asia and Africa, very, very popular. Lots of different tours. Again, I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but you get the picture. We go pretty much everywhere. South America, again, another hot destination. This one, we're a little bit longer than the other premium brand, the premium brand by 2 days, but look at the difference in hours in port, 121 hours compared to 75. So again, I think I made my point. I don't want to drag that on too long, but again, all these wonderful, wonderful destinations to take your clients to. I'm speeding up to Alaska because I'm very excited about Alaska, and I'll tell you why. Alaska, for the first time ever, we are going to have the Riviera, one of our O-class vessels. So in Alaska, we have one of our larger vessels, not huge, obviously, up there for the first time. This is a great opportunity for those clients of yours that have always enjoyed big ships, want to enjoy a smaller ship, but don't want to go too small. So this is a really good opportunity for them. So with that said, let me define our vessel fleets real quickly for you. And I'm going to talk a little bit faster because I'm running out of time here. But our fleet is pretty simple. As I mentioned, we have 3 categories, but really kind of 2 different categories as far as size. But no matter what the 3 choices, you all have that same small ship boutique ambiance. One that I love is you meet people and you see them again over and over again. So you find that couple that you connect with. And you make new friends. Some of those big ships that we've all been on, I'll meet somebody, I never see them again the rest of the cruise. And we're able to get into ports that a lot of the bigger ships cannot get into, like Bordeaux, for example. We dock in Bordeaux, where the larger ships have to dock outside, an hour-and-a-half transfer into Bordeaux, where in Oceania, they walk off of the gangway and there's cafes and everything right there. So the size definitely lends the ability to get into some of those ports. So the types of vessels we have, Oceania class, which is the Marina and the Riviera. The Riviera is when I mentioned going into Alaska this coming summer, are only 625 staterooms. These have the largest staterooms in our class. Wonderful big bathrooms and so forth. Our Regatta class, these are our smallest ships. We have 4 of these. These ships are only 342 staterooms. They're more like, I like to say, more like a yacht style experience. You know, they're not the largest staterooms in the industry, that's for sure. They're more yacht size, but that comes with being smaller ships. But they're so intimate, so special. They just don't build ships the size anymore. They just really don't. Even the ultra luxury brands, their ships are getting to be bigger than our R-class ships. Really special fleet. And then our latest, newest ships are the Allura class, which is the Vista that came out a year ago in May, and Allura that I mentioned that comes out this coming summer. These are virtually about the same size as a Riviera Marina, very similar floor plan, but very, very different in the stateroom design and even more dining options. So wonderful fleet, really comfortable. And I have to say, it's easy for me to say that, but we were very honored to receive the top billing in almost all categories from Cruise Critic year-end 23. We're waiting for 2024 right now. But as you know, this is from travelers, right? This isn't from magazines or write-in votes. These are from travelers. So we got best cruise line overall, best cruise line dining, best value, which we all love a good value, best service, and staterooms and suites. So I wanted to share that with you because we're very humbled and proud of that. And again, it's real from real clients. So your question probably is, wow, this all sounds great, but where do I find these Oceania clients? And the answer is pretty simple. You already have them. Because I had mentioned, if you're selling cruises right now, there's clients in your database, especially if you're selling bigger ships, that may be ready for the boutique experience that Oceania offers. With that said, I think I shared that, getting up to 50% of our bookings are new to brand guests. So it's happening organically. So I encourage you to listen to the signs when speaking to your clients if they're ready to experience Oceania. Now, we're never going to say we want to steal away your clients from brand X and move them to Oceania, because that makes no business sense for you. But it does make sense to offer them the options for that next step if they're ready for it. So I want to share a real success story with you real quickly, just from literally this last year with one of my BDMs. It's all about partnership. Our DOSs, our BDMs, they're there to partner with you and do whatever they can to help both of you succeed in your respective markets. So with this example, this is an example of a travel agency that had never booked Oceania before. And they reached out to their salesperson. In this case, her name was Maggie. And they said, hey, we want to learn more about Oceania, but we don't have any clients, blah, blah, we want to learn more about it, et cetera. So Maggie asked a lot of questions. They brainstormed together, and they realized, the owner of the agency said, my daughter is in college with the daughter of a winery that's in our local area. I wonder if they'd be interested in doing a group. So they put together a group opportunity. Again, remember, this agency had never sold Oceania before. And they pitched it together with their BDM to the winery, and they loved it. They'd never done any type of trip with a wine club before. And they promoted it to their wine club, and it was a huge success from the first day they launched it. In fact, 99% of the bookings that were made which were 56, had never sailed in Oceania before. We love that. And none of them had ever booked through that travel agency before. $38,000 was the commission made that this agency made from this group that just came from a phone call with their BDM, brainstorming, and finding an opportunity that they had in their back pocket that they didn't think about. Sometimes you just have to socialize these ideas with your partners to realize they're there. So not only that, but because of the revenue of this group, that revenue brought that agency into the next tier of earned commissions for the FIT bookings for all of 2025. So now for every booking they make moving forward, they're earning higher commissions because of the success in revenue and business in 2024. So I wanted to share that with you. This is a really, really recent opportunity, and I really encourage you to reach out to your salespeople. Real quickly, I wanted a couple takeaways for you. First, who Oceania is. I think we pretty much covered that as far as our pillars, how we're different, our itineraries, and so forth. Where to hunt. You want to listen to those cruisers that may be ready for the Oceania experience and maybe present them that option for their next cruise. And then I want to leave you with some special offers. The timing on this is great. We're launching a special offer this coming weekend, but this is what we have in the market so far. Welcome home offer. This is interesting. So those of you that have sold us in the past, if you have guests, actually, I'm jumping ahead. Let me back up. Welcome home offers actually for guests that have had their first Oceania cruise with us, and they didn't book another cruise while on board. We're reaching out to them, and letting them know, and you know, that they can have 10% savings if they book within 90 days of return from that cruise. So what we do is we send you a notice and send a notice to them, telling them to contact you to take advantage of this offer. We do all the legwork on it, except for making the booking, but we try to make those phones ring for you. Then we have the offer, which is first-time guests that sailed the last 5 years but have had no future bookings. We're reaching out to them and you to offer a future cruise certificate to commit to another booking. So there's some really exciting things going on as far as offers out there. Again, I don't, for the sake of time, I don't want to go drill too deeply into these, but that's a good top line of those offers. But do reach out to your salesperson and strategize and come up with some ideas and get more deep into some of those offers. I also want to share with you that coming this next year, you'll see more consumer advertising out there. And that's not to increase our direct sales at all, is to create brand awareness. So your clients, when they come to your office, they've heard of Oceania, hopefully, and you're not starting from scratch having to tell them about Oceania. So that's something new. We haven't done a lot of that in the past. Now let's talk about the special offer I alluded to that comes up this weekend. This is a Black Friday Day sale. It is, I think, one of our strongest offers we've ever done. Very excited about it. It's an up to 4 category upgrade. And by the way, we've done category upgrade sales in the past. Those are the sales that are the most successful for us. So we already have a winning formula there. But in addition to that, they get their up to 4 category upgrade. Then they can choose one of 3 things that best suits their vacation lifestyle. Maybe they want to choose unlimited wine, beer, and cocktails. They can choose that. Great value. Or maybe they just want shipboard spending credit up to $1,000 for whatever they want to spend it on for spa treatments and so forth. Or they can select reduced or free air out of certain gateway cities. So they can choose one of those 3 things in combination with this upgrade sale. Your salespeople do have the details on this as of last night. It's not out in the marketplace yet, but they can share all those details with you. And again, great, great offer. And finally, I just want to share with you some exciting new partnerships that we have. So keep an eye out for this with Food and Wine Magazine, for example, and we're creating specialty cruises like theme cruises with some very popular people like Sarah Moulton of PBS, Food and Wine Best Chef Series, where we have some of the best chefs that they've chosen around the United States that will be sailing with us on select voyages. So lots of fun stuff coming up. And I want to thank you for your time. Hopefully you found this useful. I encourage you to reach out to your salespeople to partner with them and grow your Oceania business. And Justin, I'll turn it over to you.
That was awesome, Michael. Thank you so much for that. All the information was very informative. I personally cannot wait to get a surf and turf burger. That sounds very good right now. It's about lunchtime here for me. I don't see a lot of questions coming in, or any at all, to be completely honest. So if you have anything else that you'd like to share, Michael, before we wrap this up, I'll basically give you the floor back.
Great. Well, thank you. Yeah, I know it's a lot of information, everybody. So if you do come up with some questions, feel free to reach out to your salespeople. They'll get back to you and get that answered quickly. Again, I know it was a lot of information. In addition, we have a wonderful university training program on our website that it's a learn as you wish. You can stop and go as you go through the different courses. So if you are new to Oceania, I encourage you to try that. It's brand new, it was just revised, but a great tool for you. And on our website as well, we have an area called the marketing portal where you can log in and have access to a lot of different selling tools to creating flyers, ordering brochures, travel advisor rates, whatever it may be. But there's a plethora of information there as well. So again, thank you for joining us today.
All right, Michael. So we are getting a few. We got one question in about airfare. So basically, will you provide business or first class air by any chance?
Yes, so we can quote economy, premium economy, and business and first quotes. Absolutely.
Awesome. All right. And then one other question we got in: are there any seminar at sea opportunities?
Oh boy, that's a great question. We haven't had any, and it's because all of you do too good of a job, and our ships are usually full. But we're confidentially, we're trying to find some opportunities next year. So if you're interested, definitely let your sales partner know so they can add you to the list. So if we do have one, they can reach out to you and offer that to you.
Great. All right. And then I don't see any more questions, but just a few comments. Basically, all positive, of course. Everything looks amazing. Can't wait to sail. So, obviously you did a great job, Michael. I can't wait
Thank
to
you.
get on one myself.
Wonderful. Well, thanks again.
Great. All right. Well, thank you everyone for attending. As previously mentioned, we will be uploading this to our CLIA Global YouTube channel. And thank you, Michael. We do appreciate our partnership and everything that you all do for CLIA. And we hope to see you again on a webinar in the future.
Us too. Thank you so much. Happy selling,
Great.
everybody.
Thank you.